Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/Simon Drew. I also do one-on-one mindset coaching, and you can book in your first free consultation by going to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching. On Facebook, you can join my group, the Practical Stoic Mastermind. But for now, enjoy this episode. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. Sometimes the most important messages are the simplest to communicate and require no more than a few words to share. And today's episode contains one of those important and very short messages. And it comes from Seneca, and he said, quote, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." End quote. Time is always moving forward, and life is continually in motion. We are always getting older, and we are always getting closer to death, whether it happens today, tomorrow, 2 years from now, or 20 years from now. What Seneca points out here is that no matter what we're doing, life is always speeding along. And more importantly, he points out that while we are postponing the most important things, life is just moving on by. Maybe some of the things that I'm about to say will hit home with you and make this message a bit more personal. While you're procrastinating, life speeds by. While you're playing that game on your iPhone, life speeds by. While you're stuck in the same old bad habits, life speeds by. While you're still addicted to alcohol or sex or drugs, life speeds by. While you're spending 90% of your time at work and 10% of your time with your family, life speeds by. While you're still eating unhealthy foods every day and your health is deteriorating, life speeds by. While you watch that Netflix show, instead of starting on those 20 books that you've promised yourself that you'd read, life speeds on by. While you're working in that dead-end job, instead of starting that business that you've always dreamed of, life speeds by. While you still haven't forgiven your friend and you're holding all of that anger inside of you, life speeds by. While you're still angry and bitter and cynical about your life, it just keeps on speeding on by. See, life doesn't care about your goals. That's your responsibility. You can remove your bad habits and you can do the important things in life, but you can't hold back time. Time can be your best friend or your worst enemy, but that depends completely on what you're doing. A really good habit built up and maintained over a few years can create absolute miracles. And a bad habit, cultivated over the same amount of time, can turn your life into a hell on earth. As soon as you understand this, you will hopefully see just how important it is to start the process of life change right now. Because as you're waiting, life just keeps on going. And so I'd like you to do a quick exercise with me right now. Ask yourself this question. If I were to keep on living in the way that I'm living right now, what would my life look like in 20 years? If I kept eating the foods that I'm eating, spending the time with the same people, putting the same amount of effort into my work, spending the same amount of time with my friends and family, and spending the same amount of time on my own personal growth, where will my life be in 20 years? I'd like you to really think about the answer to that question. Pause the podcast if you need to. So, what does your life look like if you compound all of your habits over 20 years? Is it good? Is it bad? Well, now is the time to take control and to do the important things that will create a better tomorrow. And so on that note, I'd like to ask you a few more questions, and I want you to ask these of yourself as well. What important actions have you been postponing in your life? What are the important things that you know you should have done by now? What are the bad habits that are still plaguing your life? Who are the people who you know you shouldn't be spending time with anymore? What are the books that you need to read? What are the courses that you need to take? What are the positive habits that you need to build? What are the extremely healthy foods that you need to eat or the workouts that you need to do? I'd like you to start a list of all of the things that you know you should have started by now. And then once you have that list, I want you to pick just one. Just one thing that you can do today which will lead to a better tomorrow, should it come. If you'll stop postponing just one of those important things which you know you should be doing, then I know that you'll get a great sense of pride and fulfillment. And maybe in a couple of days you'll feel confident enough to tick off another thing on the list, and another, and then another. But here's the thing, you have to start today. And you have to understand that every moment spent not moving forward is a moment spent moving backwards. Life is always moving, and so if you want to keep up, and if you want to live the best life possible, then you need to get to work on the most important things. As I like to say, start today and start small. I'll talk to you next time, but until then, I hope that this episode has helped you on your rise to the good life. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I hope it's been valuable for you. And if you'd like to support the show, then you can go to patreon.com/Simon Drew. If you'd like to try mindset coaching with me, then you can book your first free consultation by going to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching. To join the community, just go to Facebook and search for the Practical Stoic Mastermind. The links to all of these places are included in the show notes, but for now, this is Simon Drew signing out.